Good day, viewers. Ikoyi blog is reporting live from the Anthonia, Ikoyi, Lagos, for the launch of Nigeria Talent Accelerator Network. This event, organized under the National Talent Export Program in collaboration with the Accelerator Networks, marks a significant step in building a strong ecosystem for skill development, innovation, employment opportunities, and global talent competitiveness. Stay tuned as Ikoyi blog brings you live coverage of the event as it unfolds. I'm Susan Omolayo, reporting for Ikoyi blog.
It was indeed a day of inspiration and collaboration on Tuesday, November 11, 2025 at Ikoyi, Lagos, where the launch of Nigerian Talent Accelerator Network officially took off. The event drew the presence of key stakeholders from government, academia, private sector, and international development partners, all aligned under one mission to empower the Nigerian youth for the global workforce. Also in attendance were the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, and other prominent elites. The Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, emphasized the importance of public-private collaboration, noting that the launch will reflect the government's commitment to building a unified structure that boosts Nigeria's global competitiveness.
Today, I'm super excited because the Accelerator focuses on what truly drives our nation forward: productivity, competitiveness, and growth, lifelong learning and upskilling, ensuring every Nigerian can adapt and thrive in a changing world, redeployment and re-employment, helping our people move into new and emerging industry. And what I'm most excited about is this: yes, over 70% of our population are under the age of 35, and these young Nigerians, energetic, ambitious, resilient, entrepreneurial, and digitally connected to the world, they will continue to propel our nation forward. And so in a world where many economies are aging, Nigeria has what others need: human capital and talent at scale. And this is where the Nigeria Skills Accelerator comes in. It ensures that as Nigeria grows its economy, we'll also build a national pathway to equip our youth with globally relevant skills. We'll connect with global labor markets through digital and remote services exports, and will position Nigeria as an active architect of the new global trade order. With these, I'd like to specifically speak to each group represented here today. Our private sector partners, you are investing in a new framework that ensures the Nigerian experience becomes a global standard. Join us, invest in skills pipeline, mentor young professionals, and connect them with global markets. Our educators and training institutions, this is the moment to align learning with labor market realities. Future-proofing Nigeria's workforce means embedding practical, globally relevant skills at every level. And to our development partners and international friends, your technical support and investment will amplify this effort, helping us scale faster. And to our media partners, thank you for continuously joining us in shaping and amplifying the national narrative that we want, telling Nigeria's story of innovation and growth, the actual reality that we face today. And young Nigerians, the beneficiaries of this intervention, this initiative is for you. Your creativity, your resilience, your brilliance are Nigeria's greatest comparative advantage. And through this accelerator, we are building pathways for your skills to compete and win anywhere in the world.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, took the stage to reaffirm the government's commitment to skill-based education, highlighting the ministry's ongoing reforms aimed at aligning the curriculum with industry requirements and fostering innovation through public-private partnerships.
We are here not to only discuss skills development, but to align our collective energy towards building a workforce that can drive industrial diversification, digital innovation, and inclusive prosperity. The global skill transition, as we see it today, the world is undergoing a profound transformation. According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, nearly half of all current skills will change within 5 years. Nearly 50% of all current skills will change within 5 years. And we can see from the last presenter what she showed. We have to now be aggressively innovative in changing and skilling and upskilling our current workforce and the emerging workforce that we're creating. Automation, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and digital economy are redefining the competencies required to thrive. For a great country, Nigeria, with over 220 million citizens and a youthful population exceeding 140 million, this global shift presents a defining opportunity. If we equip our youth with the right skills, we unlock the engine of our national competitiveness. As I said, with over 140 million Nigerians below the age of 30 years old, we have two choices here. We can either turn this into demographic dividend, or it becomes a demographic catastrophe. So the second option is an option. So we're left with just one option. And today, we have youth that are eager to learn, and they're tech savvy. It's part of our DNA. So as a government, we're supporting these youth, giving them the opportunities they need, would help us change the world geopolitics. There are lots of weak countries affect the world geopolitics. We in Nigeria can use a manpower, a skilled labor force, to start dictating what happens in the world. What's happening in America, North America today, Europe, flat population growth, or in some continents, declining population growth. But we in Africa, more so in Nigeria, our population is growing. More youth ready to work. What the government needs is to give them opportunities. And I can assure you, this is what this president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is determined to do. This president believes so much in human capital development as a fulcrum, as the bedrock of our economic development. And that's why it's giving us all the manpower, the support we need to harness and unleash human capital development in our country. We have a program now called a Digital Technology Academy, a 6-month program. We've partnered with Coursera and Pluralsight, and we train young Nigerians, people in their final year either tertiary institutions or people that have just graduated, 6-month course, pay for it, will pay for their internet access, and also pay for their certification exams. Is it Microsoft, AWS, AI, or Google? So we want to train these young Nigerians to be able to now seek jobs that are available globally. They can sit right here in Nigeria, do this job, service companies in Singapore, in Europe, in Germany. That is how we can begin to rebuild our economy. We're also strengthening our higher educational system for employability. We're equally reforming our higher education to serve as a talent production hub for Nigeria and industrial future. What we're also doing, we're encouraging international universities to come to Nigeria and open branch offices, branch campuses. We finalized about 2 Russell 24 universities coming from England, and I'm happy to report that by next year, 2026, 1 or 2 of those universities will have their campus here in Nigeria.
Following this was a panel session moderated by Chido Muyati, Director for Africa at the World Economic Forum, bringing together Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Tunji Alausa, Minister of Education, Mr. Samaila Zubeiru, President of Africa Finance Corporation, and Mr. Boye Olusanya, Group CEO of Flour Mills of Nigeria. Discussions focus on leadership perspectives, innovation, collaboration, and measurable results in skills development across Nigeria.
The Nigeria Skills Accelerator represents a pivotal platform for this, a coalition that scales what works to deepen collaboration and to turn ambition into action. As we enter this active phase now, today's dialogue will help define shared priorities and success factors. So with this broader framing, It's my honor and privilege to start with you, Honorable Minister Oduwole. You've been leading policy and cross-sector initiatives aimed at positioning Nigeria as a global talent hub, namely through the National Talent Export Program, among other international partnerships such as the Skills Accelerator. Honorable Minister, where do you see the most promising opportunities for impactful intervention within Nigeria's skills ecosystem?
Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, while responding to a question raised at the discussion, stated that creating the opportunities for more Nigerians to work on a global level from home is the most important thing that can be done for them. And the ministry, through the item 7 on the Renewed Hope agenda, is focusing on making a difference through technology, creative sector, and industrialization.
No matter how many Nigerians leave the country to elsewhere, there's always at least 100 popping up every single day. And creating the opportunity for more Nigerians to work on a global level from home is perhaps the most important thing that we can do for them. The weather is great, the food is great, the environment is, the ginger is just popping, and people actually want to be home. That's why they're home every December. And so what we're focusing on with the Renewed Hope agenda in acceleration of non-oil exports, that particular cluster of ministries, departments, and agencies under item number 7 of the Renewed Hope agenda, focusing on non-oil acceleration, using technology, using the creative sector, using industrialization, and generally we have at least 4 key thematic areas that economically position Nigeria's economy. That's beyond the work that I'm discussing here. We have our sustainability thematic areas where we talk about environmental, climate, economy, where we talk about mining, solid minerals. That's another big stream, rare earth. We talk about just manufacturing, diversification, light manufacturing, exporting, leveraging the AFCFTA, digital tools, the pipeline I spoke about. Everybody knows Nigeria is leading on technology. About 5 out of the 9 unicorns on the continent are Nigerian extraction. So when you look at the economy of Nigeria that has been stabilized over the last 2.5 years by President Bola Tinubu, and the trajectory, when you look at our macroeconomics and the global rating agencies reinforcing the positive messaging and the trajectory of where this economy is going, we know that services globally and in Nigeria as well and on the continent, the global trend is for services to be over 50% of GDP. So how do we position and how do we coordinate for impact? That's really what this conversation is about. There are very many stakeholders in the room. How do we make sure that we're organized, we're focused, and we have a critical beam to penetrate into the global space to deliver the $1 trillion economy for Nigeria? And the Digital Trade Protocol, which was approved by the heads of state in 2024, and the annexes were approved in February of this year, is the first framework of its kind in the world, putting structure to digital trade. The interesting thing about the AFCFTA is that it's for Africans by Africans, and it takes into consideration specificities of the African continent. It's the first to have a protocol on women and youth. It layers a lot of attention on the informal sector and how to prioritize trade across borders for informal trade. Now, the Digital Trade Protocol, looking at things that we need, like financial interoperability across the continent, like data management systems, identity systems, these are the things that will deliver the leapfrogging, the impact, digital public infrastructure, what African countries need, trade facilitation, things like national single window projects that enable e-commerce. And so when you look at the different layers of technology businesses that are operated by technology or empowered by technology, and then businesses that just have some elements of technology in them, at least 3 clear buckets of types of businesses on the continent. The Digital Trade Protocol puts practical steps in place that enable governments to support these businesses and to talk to each other for one single interconnected market for Africa. And so in terms of things like the PAPs with African payment systems, not having to use correspondent banks out of the continent. It's a really powerful tool. Now, Nigeria, the president was commended in February in Addis as the president who was championing digital trade, so he received a personal commendation because of his role in this space. And his rationale is simple. With the demographic of the Nigerian economy and our youth being tech native, it just made sense to prioritize this area. And so Nigeria is digital trade co-champion for Africa. And what that means is catalyzing investments into the space and making sure that there's opportunities not just for Nigeria alone, but for across the continent.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, emphasized the need for the education sector to partner with the Ministry of Trade and Investment to create the skill set of what the country needs to move the economy forward, describing manpower as a critical thing.
Main ministry we need to partner with is the Ministry for Trade and Investment. We need to work to create the skill set of what the country needs to move the economy forward. Manpower is a critical thing. There's some job, AI is here, robots are here, but there's some job that you can't, and you need human beings. And also, as you build this AI, machine learning, generative AI, you need people to improve the data in what it needs. So what we're doing as a government is now to look at what are the critical areas we need to focus in an effort to create the skill set we need to make the country, to make Nigeria competitive. And that's why we focus heavily on TVET. I'll tell you 3 major areas. We focus on 4 major areas. TVET, Technical Vocational Education and Training. And it's TVET in a different manner. The people that are older here, probably the Mr. Simala Zubero, about 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, TVET operated alongside with a tertiary education. In the last 20 years, 2 decades, it almost disappeared. In fact, people now look at going to technical and vocational schools as second class citizens, which is not real, which is not the reality that we're seeing today. You go to the UK today, a plumber earns more than a doctor. You go to the US today, an electrician earns more than a lawyer with flexible work schedule. Now, what we've been able to do in the last 24 months plus is to bring technical vocational education and training back as part of our educational system, front and center. And I told people when the president instructed us on what we need to do about this, the president said something that, these youths are not lazy. It's just that successive governments have not given them the opportunity. They need to try. And he's determined to do that. And within 12 months, within 7-8 months after, that crystallized to us at the Ministry of Education as a reality. We opened the portal with a TVET. As I said, within 10 days, 1.3 million people. But the most interesting thing is that the way we condition this is that we are just not doing training, practical training. It's 80% hands-on. We have 3 areas. Skilled training center, 6 months training, vocational enterprise institute, 12-month training, and technical colleges, both federal and state technical colleges, 3 years training. Our federal technical colleges today, free. Students will go there for free. And what happened within just 1 year, the number of students going quadruple. We're ready for next admission cycle now. And what we're doing is that we're paying for people who are undergoing a TVET training. We're paying them the first step to it. Number 1, we're paying the student stipend. We pay them about 17,000 naira a month with 7,500 transportation. That has up to 22,500. We're paying the skill training centers, training them, 45,000 naira per student. We've been very deliberative about that. We need to create another value chain, another ecosystem. Get these training centers to invest. Government will put more money into them. They will invest into building state-of-the-art workshops so that they can train these people better. Look at the training center now that has about 300 students. That's almost 12 million a month that they get from training those students. In a year, it's about 130 million. I went to one, I visited one in Abuja just as we're inaugurating the training. The proprietor said, I'm going to build 3 more centers. I visited the farm, training people with hands-on. So as we train them, as we pay the centers, we're also paying the Mastercard persons that will be training them. And we've also partnered with the industries where we're finalizing the creation of a job market platform called Natics, where these students will go, employer will go, and there'll be market, that's a form of marketplace. Look at what happened to the Dangote industry. They need almost 2,000 or 3,000 technicians. They couldn't get up to 500 or 700 in Nigeria. It's a shame. So we're partnering, we've done labor gap analysis. We know the kind of skills that people need in Nigeria now. We're just not doing this out of it. It's not effort, we're just doing it blindly. We know the top skills in areas of fashion and garment making, things like that, GSM repair, computer and hardware repair, solar photovoltaic, those are the kind of skills. So that's on the TVET side. And I told you just briefly now about what we're doing on DTA, Digital Technology Academy. That's focus on people that we can quickly give them quick skills. They already went to school, they're smart, so equip them with these new digital skills. As I've mentioned, about 2.2 million of those as of 2020, end of 2024, the UNESCO data, 2.2 million of those jobs are out there globally. So we'll finalize that. We will roll that out in the next few weeks. We're just going through the procurement process. The content has been developed together with Abat College of Technology and the National Open University to collaborate with Coursera and Plurisa. All the content is developed, identify those two institutions as the facilitators. So we'll do it. Those students will be expected to train fully as full-time. It's not going to be part-time. So by the time they are done with those 6-month training, they're really, really well equipped. And we've also, the way we align them, there'll be people that have low skills, intermediate, and advanced. So we've structured those at 3 levels of training. Now, that's what we're doing in terms of way of digital space. Now to our tertiary institutions, we also have to go there. That's what we produce our graduates. We focus heavily now on STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences. In the area of technology, we're doing more mechatronics, AI, robotics, coding. We're encouraging our universities, our tertiary institutions now to focus on these areas. Because I know with all due respect to people that study some of the art courses, that's not what we need today. Our tertiary institutions have done so good job giving students that went through those campuses the confidence that, oh, they're graduates. But then, graduates of what? What is totally what's happened is that train people, churn them out of those tertiary institutions, give them degrees with no life skills. And that's what we've changed. We've had multiple meetings with the heads of our tertiary institutions, they get it now. And a lot of them, they defined it, they've created their courses, their course offering, focusing more on those areas of where we need. Today, even on the other side, if you train 150,000 nurses today, there'll be job for them in Nigeria or internationally. And also, since this president came in, we've doubled admission into our medical schools. Double admission for medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, and nursing. Let me stop there and continue to talk.
Unforgettable moments were captured in photographs and interviews, serving as a testament to the commitment and drive towards Nigeria's talent future. The launch of the Nigeria Talent Accelerator Network marks a major step in building a strong ecosystem for employment opportunity, innovation, skill development, and economic growth.
Today was the launch of our Skills Accelerator Network. Effectively, it is a public-private partnership between the World Economic Forum, the private sector, and the ministries of education, as well as trade, investment, and industry. It's a partnership to create frameworks for education and skills for the future. And today was a day to identify opportunities for action based on data that we've shared, as well as conversations that we've had with the government and the private sector in terms of how to support Nigeria in creating jobs for its young, dynamic, entrepreneurial youth as we think of the jobs for the future, whether it's jobs in cybersecurity, data science. Nigeria is at the forefront in terms of using these technologies. They're first in Africa, fifth globally, and our idea is to help them accelerate and amplify this effort. And so that was the purpose of today's conversation. So the Honorable Minister of Education, I think, was very clear in setting forth examples of how the government is making investments into training, vocational and technical training. The World Economic Forum, we have access to data as well as best practices that we will share and bring to bear to support these efforts. And the private sector, the Africa Finance Corporation with the President and CEO, Mr. Zubairu, as well as the CEO of Flour Mills, Mr. Olusanya, have made commitments to ensuring that they are also providing support, whether it's financing, training, as well as knowledge in terms of the in-house training to support with actual practical efforts to accelerate skills and jobs on the ground.
For a Cohort blog, this is Adiola Amuda.
It has been a day of inspiration, commitment and collaboration to empowering Nigeria's youth for the global workforce. With the presence of the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, stakeholders and other elites, today's launch signals a renewed drive towards skill development, innovation and economic growth. Thank you for staying tuned. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms on X, Instagram, and Facebook at Ikoyi Blog. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Ikoyi Blog. I'm Susan Amolayo, reporting for Ikoyi Blog.